behind, just what you left behind.
What's up, everybody? Plague here, some more Russian Fishing 4, and I'm chilling here with my good buddy Zuki. Shout out to my son Goopy's good friend Ryan, RDR Films. Go give him a look-see. He's got some pretty cool videos up, and yeah, hope you enjoy what I got for you. I promised in my last video, which my audio was really low, and I apologize for that. I'd caught a really nice pike and really nice black carp, but I promised to show something, and I totally forgot, and I'm sorry. I got really excited, and I got hungry, and ran for dinner. So we're back here at Oldberg Lake, but before we get started here, I want to show you this. Some of you probably already know this, some of you probably don't. The lure I was using when I caught the pike was this one, but I wasn't using the standard treble hook here. What I like to do is come over here. You can switch out your hooks very easily. I learned this from another YouTuber, and I apologize, I forget their name. So 100% credits to them. They were in another language, but I caught the gist of everything by just watching and listening to what they were doing. You just simply click that, hit OK, and kablam. You have a total different hook on your lure. Another lure I like using is the Bat Boy. But I swapped out the hook for one of these red treble hooks here. I don't know if it really makes that big of a difference, but it to me, it seems like it did. I could be wrong, so you can correct me if you want to. But you know, it's just something I liked. You know, I swapped it out and it was working pretty good. Shoot, that doesn't even want to come out, darn it. There we go. Yeah, my current spinning setup is this Express Fishing Arrow. And of course I have my Heaven Creek Elegance spinner here. That's what I ended up catching my pike on. And I'm going to probably go back out to the same spot here in a minute and see if I can get anything on there. And my... Shoot, where is that thing at? Here it is. Oh, good lord, I'm getting confused here. Oh, here we go. My bottom feeder rig, I was using wheat seeds for my bait when I caught that black carp on it. You can see I don't have that fancy of a setup. I don't have anything big yet. My skills aren't up high enough to where I can get some of the bigger, better rods. But, yeah, I'm enjoying this. I'm getting my spin fishing up quite a bit with this, Elegance spinner setup between Mosquito Lake and here. It's been a blast. Haven't really had you know, too many misses. I've had a couple mishaps where my line stepped a few times, so I swapped out my line, and it's been working out for me for the most part. So let's eat something really quick, and we're gonna head out to where I was getting some really good luck catching stuff at. And full credits to this spot, I didn't even know nothing about it. Plus I didn't have this area unlocked at the time. It goes to You Can't See Me. It was thanks to one of his videos that I watched. He was saying he was having a really good time over here. He was catching a lot of stuff, and he you know, was doing great out here. So I decided, why not, for my first time coming out here, give this place a shot. And it paid off really quickly. I pretty much was able to pay for my trip right away out here, which was only, you know, 4 silver, but whatever. Alright, so we got my bottom feeder already set up right here, so let's go ahead and give this a chuck out here. I tried to get it as close over by that rock out there as possible. That nice little mossy area over there. And of course, as always, don't forget to tighten up your line a little bit. You don't want too much slack. You want your bells to be able to hit and go off right away. And my favorite spot, like I was saying in my last video, for spin fishing is right over here. Chuck it out there like that. Sometimes, most of the time, I do a straight retrieve. I don't really stop and go too much. With the lure I'm using, usually a straight retrieve works fairly easy and fairly quickly. It just depends. Sometimes I play around with the stop and go. Sometimes it has better effects than just straight retrieval. But normally I just have luck just going ahead and just reeling it in nice and slow. Hopefully here in a couple minutes we'll get something, so this video wasn't just talking about being able to swap out hooks on lures. That was a big thing for me though. As soon as I saw that other person doing that, I decided, what the heck, why not give it a shot? And now I went out to this one spot in Mosquito Lake, just randomly picked a spot, started throwing out by some tall grass like this. And I was catching perch right off the bat. My first experience with the pike, my line snapped. I didn't think anything of it. And yeah, it was quite the experience for that one. One of my biggest things, and this is from a life lesson I learned in real life fishing with my dad over in Pennsylvania when we used to live over there. When you're fishing for anything, you're risking getting pike, always use a leader. Well, I don't have any other leaders right now. But a leader is almost going to guarantee that you're not going to get your line bit. It's not 100%, but it's a better shot than nothing. Pikes have really sharp teeth and they will rip right through your line like no tomorrow. You might get lucky. You might get really lucky and not have your line ripped. One of my life experiences, like I had mentioned in my last video, and again I apologize for the audio, it's just really horrible. I don't know what was going on with that. We were fishing on this river in Pennsylvania, way on the other side of a town called Sunbury, and there's this little pond area where we like to go because we always had luck catching something out there. And I'd just gotten something on my line, and all of a sudden I hear my dad screaming, "Get the gaff, get the gaff." So I'm running over to where his tackle kit was, and I pick up the gaff and I start going towards him very carefully because you don't want to fall in a gap, of course, and by the time I had gotten over to him, his line had gotten ripped off and he lost another topwater spinner, and it was a pretty large pike. That was my first experience with my dad fishing for those. So that taught me a really valuable life lesson. If you want to get the fish, you want to keep the fish, use a leader, especially if you're fishing for fish that are known to have sharp teeth. But being over there and fishing, spin fishing with several different type of spin lures really won me over to bait casting in real life, and I've always enjoyed that in every single fishing game I've been able to play. Ooh, we got something pretty decent on here. Not too big, but decent enough. I loved it. Caught a lot of bass, caught a lot of trout. Of course, I didn't always catch bass on spin fishing or fishing with lures. One of my little secrets in Pennsylvania that was easily accessible at a bait shop was hellgrammites. Caught a lot of fish on those. And yeah, they work great. They have a little small armor plate just behind the back of their heads, and if you can slip your hook just underneath that little armored plate and get it in there pretty good without harming the hellgrammite, your fish can sit there and nibble on that thing all day long and eat most of it up, but there's always still going to be part of the hellgrammite left on your hook, and it's still going to pull in the fish. It's still going to, keep working for you. I had nothing but a tiny little stubble of a Helgramite left over because of the little armor plate they had. And, yeah, I made my one buddy's uncle a little jealous because I was catching all the fish and they were catching hardly anything, so I had the very last Helgramite on my hook that we had for that day. And we didn't want to waste about an hour driving back towards the bait shop to go buy more. And there was not really any good places to dig for them where we were. So, you know, they were kind of out of luck. But it was fun. I mean, I learned a lot about spin fishing, using different lures and stuff like that, bait cast reels, all sorts of stuff living back there on the East Coast. Haven't really done too much fishing personally out here on the West Coast, but you know, my son got lucky and caught a really nice trout his first week here. His uncle took him out fishing, and he was super excited, but of course he had the same reaction a lot of children have when they catch their first fish and it hits the ground. They freak out because it starts flopping around and they run away from it and point at it, you know. He's like, I got one, and then he saw it, he's like, ah! He dropped it and ran. It was a good experience. I loved it. It was funny, but he was able to take it home, and his grandma cooked it up in a little butter and stuff for him, and he really enjoyed having his first fresh fish caught like that by himself on his own, rod and reel he borrowed from his uncle. So that was a fun experience. I can still see him dancing around and pointing at it, going, I got one, I got one. Oh, hey, there we go. We got a nice size tench out of that one. This wheat germ, or whatever the heck this bait is pretty effective over in this area. And it keeps setting records, and there's no wind. Huh. Oh well. It's kind of funny. I thought I already had that record, But, all good experiences. All good experiences. So I'm pretty happy already. My bottom feeding is paying off pretty well. I've been wanting to work on my float fishing so I can get a Bolognese rod and get a reel set up for that, and be able to have a little fun with those. I just haven't really worked on my float fishing too much. I need to just break down and quit being addicted to spin fishing, get a third float fishing rod, and just find a really good spot that's not emptied or fished out, and just throw out some bait balls and see what type of action I can get. I've noticed some of the baits that we used when this was first out, of course still in Russian, struggling to understand most of it. A lot of them are different now. The mechanics of it are slightly different. Not too much to where stuff doesn't work anymore, but it's still different to the aspect where it's a little bit more challenging sometimes to figure out, okay, which bait ball am I going to throw out that's going to have the best results for me. One of the other guys I've watched prior has shown a really good spot for grinding if you're like new to the game and you're trying to make your silver so you can get up there and get some decent rods and be able to buy more baits and stuff like that. It worked out great, and it still has its perks. It still works, just not quite as effectively as it used to due to some of the mechanic changes that I've noticed of it. You fish one area too much in a certain period of time, it fishes out and you just don't catch anything anymore. So you have to get up and find a new spot and move around, which is no big deal, I noticed a few hours later you go back to that same spot and it's up again after maybe a couple in-game day cycles. It'll restock the area. I think that's kind of a good idea that they threw that out there, so you can't just sit there and keep constantly left and right, pulling in, and never-ending supply of fish there. Because that's honestly not reality, but, you know, it was fun, and it still works somewhat. Let's throw this out a few more times and see if we can get lucky and get anything. If not, I will take you guys over to that area and I'll show you what I was referring to that I learned from someone else. See if we have any luck on float fishing in that area. And one thing that I frustrated the heck out of myself too was about 2 of the same exact type float fishing rods, and it frustrated the daylights out of me because I would see a bobber go down and I'd forget which key slot the pole was on, and I would sit there and pick up the wrong one multiple times. Even if I was just standing there and pressing E over it, I would still end up somehow picking up the wrong one. But that was a pretty good spot. I'm really surprised that we haven't caught anything yet on the spin fishing. I noticed at one point I had a small little dip when I got really close over here by the lilies, and it didn't last too long. It was a quick little hit and it was gone. So I'm hoping maybe I can get something something here. Not gonna hold my breath. Probably turn blue and fall over, and Zuki be poking me with a stick and laughing at me.
Why would I poke you with a stick?
Because it'd just be fun to do.
No, what would be more fun to do is strip you naked and put you in a dress and leave you there.
Oh, good lord. How'd he die? He held his breath. Why is he dressed like a girl? We don't know. Oh, man. The things we tease each other about. That'd be even more fun. I shouldn't say that.
So
Yeah, why not say it? Yeah, you know. So, just to go along with this one, when I was in Pennsylvania, I was in a position where it was mandatory I had to get first aid, CPR, and AED certified. I was training and running volunteer fire rescue. I was about 2 weeks away from getting certified, and I was working on getting my GED. But before all of that, I had to take my first aid, CPR, and AED certifications. Now, my instructor was my roommate's mother, and she was just as much of a smartass as I am. We had a nurse, another volunteer firefighter, a paramedic that needed to get recertified because he was a volunteer basis, and one other person. I don't remember what I think they were volunteering with the Red Cross. And we got to the part to where we were talking about the AED certifications. We'd already passed, already did the first aid, we already did the CPR parts, and it was time to discuss and, do our written test on the AED. And part of the AED class was, talking about irregular rhythms and heartbeats and heart attacks and stuff like that. Me being a smart aleck, I raised my hand. And my roommate's mom looked at me and she goes, "Oh shit, this ought to be good." Before she said anything else, and of course everybody else starts laughing and starts saying, "Oh no," And I said, "So if we don't have an AED, but we have a taser, if we take it to their genitalia, would that work?" Instantly the nurse busted up laughing. I get a stern look off my roommate's mom, the instructor of the class. The volunteer firefighter was sitting across from me, busts up laughing. Pretty much the whole room was just rioting. And the nurse goes, "I don't care who you are, the taser to the genitalia would wake anybody from the dead." And my roommate's mom just looks at me, And she goes, I'm sorry, that will not work. The current and the voltage, she starts going into all sorts of technical detail. And then she starts cracking up laughing. She goes, but that is a good one, though. So yeah, I you know, poke a dead body with the taser. Why not? I'm being utterly utmost sarcastic with that one too. Do not do it. If you happen to find a dead body, you know, call the proper authorities. Don't poke it with the stick. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. Go tell an adult. Those old
Don't poke it with a stick.
yeah. Don't poke it with the stick. Don't poke it with the taser. Call the authorities. Tell an adult. I don't know. I'm tired. Today's been fun. And I'm just really hoping that this. Wow, we're really not getting anything on spin fishing here. Well, let's try over here. Let's hoping I'll get caught on one of those sticks out there. Last time I tried over here, I ended up snagged 5 million times, and finally I caught something. I think it was a perch or something like that. But usually throwing over the reeds over there, usually I've at least had a couple hits by now. I noticed over the last couple days there's been a update, so I'm not sure. I haven't read the changes yet to see what else they had changed or fixed or something. I don't know. They're always working on this, and I find it awesome that you know, they're that active in development and everything else. There's a couple other games. One of them, I mean, it's cheesy. It's not quite as interactive as this or Fishing Planet. It's free, Just Fishing. The only problem I have is with their prices. I mean, it's a fun game. I mean, if you're just sitting there wanting to kill time and not really work too hard at it, throw it out, click, pull it in, you're good. But this one so far, since Zuki had introduced me to this game, has been one of my favorites. I went into Fishing Planet, was goofing off in there, and it just was not the same after playing this. Hands down, just not the same. Just trying to get out there in some of that moss and see.
I think the developers of Fishing Planets got a little too happy with their product and trying to squeeze money out of everybody.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. It seems like they're always pushing out more and more products that revolve around paying money for them rather than trying to earn them in game with points or competitions. It's more or less, hey, check this out. You want to be better than everybody else? Buy this. I won't lie, I did drop a little bit of money when they had a sale on the Sport Fishing Pack, about a year and a half ago. I bought that because it came with a couple, like 3 or 4 rods, 3 or 4 reels, and some line and stuff like that. And you know, it was on sale. I think it was like $2 or something like that. So it wasn't really an arm and a leg for me. It's just, you know, hey, I want to see what this does and see if it's a little bit better because the mechanics, and came with the hat, which, you know, when it's raining, that made a difference. Let's see, what do we got here? This is the first hit we got since. Oh, hey, we got another carp. Let's throw out one more time. Let's see if we can get it right out towards. Yep. We're off a little bit, but you know what? We'll just deal with it. We'll see if we're lucky. And since it's now day, we'll start going back over here a little bit and see if we can get lucky. Since it's 5 o'clock in the morning in the game, so maybe we can get lucky. Oh, do I already got? Maybe I got something. Got some resistance on there, not much. Oh yeah, got something really small. Look at that. It's so cute. Oh, look at it. It's a little Chinese sleeper. We'll let you go, buddy. Get bigger. Go get bigger for us. I'm really hoping I can nail one of those other pikes. You know, it was really frustrating trying to reel that in. Especially with this small reel and rod. It just seemed like it took forever. If you actually cranked up the audio and listened, at one point I had actually thought that maybe the fish had spit out my line and I was snagged on something because of how much of a pain in the rear I was having trying to get it in. I had a little, like, you know, freak out moment, but I didn't give up on it. I was half tempted at one point to cut my line, and I'm kind of glad I didn't. Oh yeah, we had something else grab it and drop it. Let's see if we can get whatever that was that grabbed it and dropped it to grab it again. That's kind of funny, right over that log. Wasn't even really paying attention. Oh, there goes my bottom feeder rod. I just noticed that. Not quite that big of a tug yet. Let's sit here and wait a minute and see what it does. Hoping I can get something decent on here. I was hoping to see another one of those black carp. That was pretty impressive for me. That was one of the biggest fish I have caught so far in this game. Of course, I'm not, you know, that high level, but for the gear that I'm working with, being, you know, some of the cheapest beginner gear that you can get a hold of as soon as you unlock it, I was pretty surprised. One lesson I learned when I was at the river: buy a net. That makes a huge difference. I didn't think anything of it, and Zuki ended up laughing at me because I pulled a huge fish in, but I didn't have a net and it ended up snapping my line. I couldn't do nothing with it. Well, let's see what we got with this one. Oh hey, we got, oh, this one's pulling something. Alright. Oh, we got something decent on here right now. Let's see what we got. See if we can get this over here before it takes too much line out. Oh, here it comes. Just relax on it a little bit. Yeah, fishy, 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 fishy. This doesn't look too bad. Looks to be pretty good size. Ah, there we go. 1.1 kilogram carp. Let's see if we can get right out where I was just aiming the tip of my rod at. That's where I keep throwing out to the side. Of course, my accuracy is not up. That's my only problem is trying to get my accuracy up. It makes a huge difference, I noticed. You know, it still kind of throws off to the side a little bit. You still notice well, you know what? We'll leave it right there in that moss and see what we get. Just leave it right there for a little bit. In a little ways further than, or closer than I would like it to be, but you know, I might get lucky right there. My thing is, I'm really wanting to land another pike. That was a good fight. Almost snapped my line because I ran out of line, but you know, it's part of it. Would have been fun, you know. Either way, whether I lost it or not, I'm glad I got it. But it was still a good fight for me, and I enjoyed the fight quite a bit. And I'm glad that Zuki knocked sense into me and told me to throw on the 350 meter line versus what I was doing. I kept buying the 100 meter line without even thinking about it. I was just so accustomed that that was the cheapest and smallest I think you can buy to go on a float fishing rig. So that's what I was doing the whole time. Thinking of float fishing, I might go ahead and throw out my float fish right here. I don't know if I want to yet or not. Nope, we're too close to shore. I don't think there's anything right here. You never know. I've seen stuff pop up right here at the last minute and grab my line. Where do we want to go? Let's just try to get out there in the moss. Oh, hey, there we go. Might get lucky, might not. I've noticed sometimes also, and this could just be me, but when I'm float fishing over in Mosquito Lake, I'm not really getting a lot of hits. I might get one here, one there. I noticed when I am retrieving my spinner, if I pull it past my bobbers just right, I tend to set off fish that bite my float rigs. It almost, not always, I'm going to say maybe 75% of the time, triggers them. If it's worked for you, or if you tried it and you know, it's worked for you, please definitely let me know below that it's not just me. But it was something that I noticed that was happening, because I forgot all about throwing out bait balls. You know, I was just throwing out my float rigs with bait on them, setting different depths, trying different things. And then whenever I got addicted to spin fishing in this game, I decided to start throwing my spin fisher out, or my spinners out, general area where my bobbers were, to see what would happen, and usually it set them off pretty quickly. Wow, just not really having luck on this lure here. Oops, wrong button. Let's try. Let's go with this one. This one, but I'm not having luck with my normal Elegance lure. I go to this one, and usually I have pretty good luck on it. So let's see if we can have any takers for this one. Might get lucky, we might not. Might just pack up and head over to Mosquito Lake and show you guys. Oh, hey, there we go. Not sure what we got here, but we got something. Oh, there we go. Got a nice little perch here. Bottom feeder. Yep, and there goes the bottom feeder again. So maybe it was a good idea just let it sit there and rest for a couple. See what we got on this thing. Nice, another good sized carp. I like to try to get out right there where the tip of my rod is. That was where I had thrown out. If you noticed in my video, I believe I'd have to look at it again. I'm pretty sure that's right where I threw out, where I got lucky, and I got that black carp at. Of course, that thing took took forever, it seemed like. Of course, I was really shocked and surprised when I found that thing. I was not expecting that to be on the end of my line. I really was not. It was a pleasant surprise, and I was really excited, and yeah, I was just blown away. I was really blown away. Oh. Don't seem to really be having much luck on the spinner here, which is a real big surprise to me. So you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pull this in, and actually, you know what? Second that. Let's. I reeled it in quite a bit. What do we got on here for bait? Got some bread right here. Let's raise that a bit. Let's change out. We'll go. Let's try this. Not sure how well it's gonna work here, but you know what? We're gonna try it. Oh, the rod's too close. We'll just check. Yep, it's out there pretty decently. You know what? Honestly, let's try right in here. See if we can get lucky right there. Hope I don't snap my rod or anything. Not really used to using the Starling stick. I've been using my other one for so long, the Express Fishing Telestick. So I'm not sure. I think it has some pretty good weight resistances to it.
It's multiplayer.
Yeah, it's multiplayer. Oh hey, we got something on
Russian Fishing 4.
Oh, nice! I just caught a 1.4 kilogram common carp on that green boilie or bolili, whatever that bait's called. That was pretty cool. Let's throw that back down. Oh, I noticed the... Oh! Is that the luck bar now? It has a little heart with the plus on it. I just noticed that. Huh. That is different. And my bar is maxed out, and my bobber's already taken another hit.
So how's the recording going tonight?
It's going pretty smooth so far.
A lot of viewers on your end?
Well, I'm not streaming, I'm just recording, so it's going to go on YouTube afterwards. After I decide when I want to edit it.
Okay.
I'm one of those people, I hate video editing, so it seems like it takes forever to me for the editing part.
That is true. You gotta have perfection, right?
And mostly I cut out a lot of moments of awkward silence.
Ah, gotcha.
I was sitting here probably for the last, 10-15 minutes, Zuki just talking.
Pretty much.
Yeah, just talking about life. Experiences with catching pike in real life over in Pennsylvania, where my dad was yelling at me to get the gaff, and by the time I got the gaff and got to him, a huge pike and just snapped his line.
Nice.
This one ain't nothing big, so I'm pulling this in pretty quick. See my bobber's starting to travel too. Ooh, itty bitty little 82-gram carp. I'm starting to run low on this bait too.
Time to buy some more.
Yeah, I'm using wheat, I think it is. I'm catching plenty of carp on that wheat.
Okay.
Oh. And my bobber just disappeared. And it's batted out. Nice. Wow. So apparently in this area, that green boilie or bolili or whatever that bait is called, and somebody can correct me on this, you know, I really don't know the proper term for that bait, is actually pretty decent over there in those lily pads. Caught one decent sized carp on it so far. There goes my bobber going crazy already again. Maybe sneak a quick bite in really quick. Before it goes completely crazy. Yep, there we go. What is this? Oh nice, a grass carp. That's the first one I've seen of those. Okay. Nope, not quite right where I wanted my bait at, but it works. Might have to switch out my lure yet again for this rod. I'll show you another one of my other spinners that I've been using that, again, over Mosquito Lake was generating great results, but I'm not sure what it's going to do here. So one of my other favorite ones I like to use is the Dragonfly Bell 6. This one has been pretty good to me. Oh shoot, wrong rod for this rig too. Oops. That is why you always check the weight of your spinners. Oopsie. And I hope I don't get hit on it because I'm way over this rod's weight limit. So we can just get it back quick enough before I get a hit on it. We'll swap over to my other rod. I totally forgot I was using this on my other rod. Oops. Let's get this one with my fuzzy tail on it. So right here, I was using the Siberia Bat Boy on this one. We'll swap over to this one, and see if we can get some decent results on this. Now over at Mosquito Lake I had good luck with this one. So I'm hoping I might have the same luck over here. Oh, something hit it. I just saw that dip right there. We're gonna throw this back out there and try it again until a few more times, see if we can get lucky and get something on there. hopefully we might get lucky. I'm hoping. Not sure how it's going to turn out. Get Dwight in here and we'll surprise him. Oh, hey, got something. Oh, shoot. Wrong thing to do. Thought I had him hooked. Spit it out. Went to go right click. I just noticed my line on my bottom feeder is totally the opposite direction from where I wanted it. I'm not sure if something grabbed it and pulled it out and let go of it. That could be the case. It's happened before. We'll give it a minute. Let's see if we can get this, whatever's playing with the bobber here. Yeah, I got another decent sized.
Strange feeling that you're not using the force.
Yeah, no, the force isn't with me right now.
Oh. You gotta focus and concentrate, man.
You
Find where
will
those
take the
switches
spinner.
are. Exactly.
Let's see. Oh, sweet. Making a pretty decent amount off that. Probably could have made more if I would have went to the restaurant, sold it there. So let's head over to Mosquito Lake. So let's see, this is the first spot I ever came to with my spinning lure that I tried when I saw the other YouTube video.
Awesome.
And,
Well, I don't know what that's like until I see it.
Yeah. But the sanctity of throwing off this video with you know, a good ending, I wanted to bring you all over here and show you this. I already perch. There's a lot of perch in this area. Always had good results. Just try not to throw too far into the reeds or you might end up getting snagged a lot like I did. I learned a lot. I learned how to not throw over the reeds right here because I got snagged almost every single time I did. But oh, there we go. Oh, that one just spit it out. But this spot right here has always been good to me for spin fishing, especially with this lure setup right here that I'm using with that little treble with the red fox tail on it. I just sit here and do a straight retrieval and always, not always, I can't say always, but usually end up having good results. So we can catch one more little fishy for you guys here. I haven't caught anything too massive or too big right here. On the other side of these reeds out towards that grass area, I have caught pike over there. 1.1, 1.2 kilogram pike. Nothing too massive, but you know, it's good sized pike. Well, let's throw out one more time. See if we can get lucky over here. And I think I threw over the reeds. That sink. It's already touching the bottom. Didn't take long for it. See if we can stir. Oh, there we go. Let's see what we got right here. And we got an itty bitty little perch. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope if you didn't already know about the lure thing, that I taught you something and shared a little bit of knowledge that I gained from other people. And as always, have a good one. Peace, love, and chicken grease. I'm out.